Levi Costa, though, he's come to fight.
Take this whatever way you want, but he is incredibly shredded for 240.
Yeah, these guys they're going to bring it. This is the 240-pound super fight.
Okay. Takedown attempt.
Ian pretty active with the collar ties. Feints with the collar ties, little head taps, looking to find an entry.
And, you know, sometimes, too, with, like, the heavier guys, the starts are always a little slow. But with guys in shape like this, I have a great feeling that once we get to the ground, it is going to be a lot of action.
Yeah, both guys look like they came in hot. Ian looked to the ref for something. I'm not sure if it was maybe a warning on the get-down rule. You can see he's trying to make something happen. He comes up with double unders.
But, I mean, the get-down rule on this one is interesting, too, because as, like, a big guy, right, you want to fight for that takedown because that takedown can mean a lot for you. Whereas in, like this, with this get-down rule, sometimes you can lose that coin flip and have to be underneath somebody you do not want to be underneath of.
I think there are some pride points at stake sometimes with the takedowns.
Oh, especially when you're big boys, ex-wrestlers, for sure. Not to mention a takedown just feels so good.
One thing about Ian that's interesting is he has his collar tie with the left hand, and then he brings his right hand up like he's going to pop under the forearm or he's going to pop under the tricep. But then he kind of baits and doesn't go for it. It's interesting when we see these kind of doubles from far away and he looks like he's going to reach the legs. They're a little bit telegraphed, so then the arms come in and he kind of blocks his double. But then he tries to come up to the body. And, you know, we see this consistent theme with him, but he hasn't really been able to get in just quite yet. Although he had a strong snap there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't try to jump on a front headlock.
You're absolutely right. Ian's ran through that pattern several times now.
Ian's saying something in the corner. I'm not totally sure what's going on there. But there it is on the double. Wow, very tough there on the edge to kind of stop the action.
Go ahead.
Sometimes that's dangerous having the table so close, especially with big dudes launching other guys. Like, getting launched into a table is not fun.
Yeah, been there.
Entertaining for us, though.
Yeah, been on the other side of it, though. Not a fan. Ian Daube doing some interesting tactics, kind of like looking off to the side. I don't know if that's baiting a shot or if it's just showmanship or what.
I think he was clock watching. I think he looked up at the time.
It has seemed like a very long 1 minute.
Yeah, it sure does. Ian's getting a little frustrated. I think one of the hard things about wrestling and jiu-jitsu is you don't have the shoes on. So
yeah, you don't quite the same
the
traction, right? The traction's different. You know, Levi is doing such a great job, though, stuffing these shots. He either sprawls his legs back quickly, or he finds inside position with his arms so that when Daube shoots in, he's ready to catch double unders. The thing with trying to lock double unders around someone the size of Daube is look at the size of those lats. I mean, how are you supposed to lock your hands with double unders there? So again, here, now he switches to the head. So I think that was a smart adjustment by Levi, instead of looking for the body, to look for the head when he eats that shot.
One of the things it does.
I'm not really sure here what Daube's complaining about.
I think Daube is a little frustrated. But to your point, I think Costa's doing a really nice job of defending, and he's not expending as much energy either. But it looks like the ref is going to give the position to Ian.
Bigger muscles require a lot more energy to keep going. So, I mean, that could be a strategy of his trying to wear him out in the beginning.
Yeah, I think Ian's complaint was just saying that he wasn't active enough, right? That Costa wasn't on the offense. But now Costa here, he ate the bottom position of the get-down rule, and he elevated from butterfly just enough to put Daube into the closed guard. And Daube looked over at his corner, looking quite frustrated about this, but he did ask for the get-down rule, so here we are. Although I need to double-check with the team about the request of the get-down rule, because I'm not really sure.
I don't think you can ask.
About the request or the dictation from the athletes. Nonetheless, we're here in half guard now, so this is looking a little bit better for Daube. Obviously, he's trying to backstep that right leg and kind of float into Side control. He's looking to have a nice grip with his left hand around the neck to bring in some shoulder pressure.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
If you're Costa there, are you trying to push the hip or the knee to stop that pass from coming through?
I actually think that Costa focusing on Daube's left arm, like he just did a moment ago, was a way better improvement because Daube is trying to come through with a big crossface, right? So controlling that arm, it may lead to a Kimura, but it also just keeps that arm at bay. So if he's controlling the wrist and the bicep, he can kind of extend his back and move his head away from Daube. So we're not seeing it now, but a moment ago we were. And see how now he's trying to switch back to the elbow or open up the shoulder. So I think that's the move. Another thing you could potentially see in a position like this is Costa could try to bring in a left foot butterfly hook.
Yes.
And then elevates him that way, although obviously hard to do with someone so large, right, and heavy in his hips. But he's done a great job so far because Daube's kind of thrown knee cuts at him. He's thrown, this classic body lock style passing at him. And he hasn't quite gotten to a pass yet. But he is looking like, he's still, I was going to say both of them still look fairly fresh to me as far as their movement patterns. Like no one's really looking too defeated.
30 seconds.
They really haven't slowed down at all. They've kept the same pace.
Yeah, Costa back up to the feet now.
Crowd's getting restless.
And that's what I was saying, too, earlier. All these matches have been so good. If your match doesn't quite hit that intensity, it can turn the crowd on you.
10 seconds.
10 seconds left. Daube was asking Costa to go back to the center of the mat, which is interesting, especially do it verbally or with hand signals.
Man, those guys are tough.
Ian's not too happy with the style of the match, I think, with how it broke down. But guys like Costa are so good. They can, like,
Gentlemen, let these two fighters hear it one more time. Your winner by judges' decision, Ian Daube.
Not a big surprise there.
And let's hear it one more time for Levi Costa.
Like I was saying, not a big surprise there, although there weren't too many submission attempts. We did see more positional control and more aggression and attempted match control from Daube.